Hello everyone. Last video we have seen that landforms. In that landforms, we are continuing the plate tectonics theory. That is plate tectonics theory. We've seen the explanation, and now we are going to see the margins of the plates. That is the edge or the margins of the plates. These zones where the adjacent plates moving away from each other are called the divergent or the contractive margins. Yes, mid or oceanic edges are formed along such margins. Such margins are associated with rising convection current. Margins where plates moving from opposite directions converge against each other are called the convergent or the destructive margins. Such margins are associated with sinking convection currents. Here the plates sink into the asthenosphere or get floated to produce features like marine trenches and fault mountain. And next one, those margins are edges along which the adjacent plates slides past each other are called conservative margins. Such margins are associated with fracture zones called transcurrent faults. Is it clear? According to this theory, most of the volcanic activities and earthquakes are also associated with the plate margins. Okay, clear? Lithospheric plate margins, that is, we are discussing this divergent or the constructive margins. In these margins are the ones along which the plates move apart. Mid-oceanic edges and wedge zones such as Red Sea are associated with such margins. As the plates move apart, magma from the interior rises and forms new rocks. Next one, convergent or destructive margins are the ones along which plates come close to each other. Such margins are associated with zones of subduction on the floor, formation of trenches, and formation of fold mountains on the continentals. Existing crust is consumed along these margins. Next one, sliding or conservative margins are the ones along with neighboring plates. Slides are grind past each other. Transcurrent faults, example San Andreas faults, are associated with such margins. Neither new crust is formed nor existing crust consumed along such margins. Is it clear? Next one is seafloor spreading. The age of rocks of the seafloor is not the same throughout. Generally, the youngest rocks are formed in the central part of the oceans, and progressively older rocks are found towards the margins of the oceans. It is believed that new crust is continuously formed in the central part of the oceans, that is, mid-oceanic regions, which spreads outwards, pushing the older rocks towards the margins. This phenomenon is called seafloor spreading. The concept of seafloor spreading has been used as one of the foundation stones of the theory of plate tectonics. Next one, this is the first order, that is the landform of first order, and now we are going to see the landforms of the second order. That is, major landforms found on the continent and oceanic beds are called the landforms of second order. That is, plains, plateau mountains, lakes, continental shelf, continental slope, etc. are the chief landforms of second order. Relief refers to the variations in altitude from the sea level. There are two important concepts of relief: absolute relief, relatives, or local relief. Absolute relief refers to the overall altitude or the height of the highest point from the sea level in the given aerial unit. Relatives or local relief refers to the differences in the altitude between the highest and the lowest point in an area. While mountains have a high relative relief, plains have very little of it. Next one, plains. A plains is an area with very little slope and very low local relief. On the basis of their formation, the plains can be grouped as peneplains, floodplains, delta plains, alluvial plains, coastal plains, lacustrine plains, karst plains, and glacial plains, etc. In this peneplain, it is a featureless plains formed through fluvial erosion of an upland. The occasional raised surviving parts of the original surface yet to be eroded are called monodrocks. Next one, floodplains, delta plains and alluvials are all formed through the deposition of eroded material by rivers. Examples, Ganga Plain and Sundarban Delta. Next one, coastal plains. Coastal plains are part of the uplifted parts of the continental shelf. Parts of the eastern coastal plains of India are of this type. Next one, lacustrine plains, formed through filling up of the lakes by river-borne sediments. Plains in the dunes and duras are the examples. Next one, karst plains are formed in limestone areas mainly by the agency of underground water. Glacial plains are formed through glacial erosion and deposition. Till plains are also formed by glacial action. Loess plains are formed through fine debris deposited by winds. In this, erosional plains are formed through lowering and reducing the irregularities in an area by agents of erosions. Peneplains are examples of this. Depositional plains are formed by deposition of materials by agents of erosion. Floodplains and loess plains are examples. Structural plains are structural lowlands that have very low relief. Central lowlands of Australia and Great Plains of USA are the examples. Next one, plateaus. An extensive level or near level areas of elevated land is termed a plateau. It is marked by the absence of a peak or summit and rises almost abstracted from the neighboring lowlands. Local relief is also low. Some plateaus may be very high. Example, Bolivian and Tibetan plateaus. Intermountain plateaus generally formed and associated with the mountains or either surrounded by mountains or or situated between two mountain ranges, that is Tibetan plateau. Pediment plateaus lie between mountains on one side and the sea or plains on the others. Yes, the Patagonian plateau is South America is such plateau. Continental plateaus rise abstractly from the seas or lowlands. Indian plateau, Arabian plateau, and Greenlands are examples. More of them are made up of igneous rocks. Next one is mountains. Mountains everyone knows, so it is VC airline. That is, mountains are generally more than 600 meters tall and much more their areas is steep slope. They have peaks and valley and the local relief is also height. Mountains comprise a series of ranges. The associated tall peaks are called hills. On the basis of their origin, mountains are flood block, volcanic and residential mountains. In that, flood mountains are formed due to crumbling of the earth crust due to compression caused by earth movements. This process called floating. The crust of the floats are called anticlines and the crowds are called cyclinians. The antecedents for mountain ranges and the cyclians form valley. The Himalayas, the Andes and the Rockies are all fold mountains. Block mountains are formed through faulting, the process of fluctuation and displacement of rocks due to tensional forces. The uplifting fault blocks form block mountains, and the lower laying areas between uplifting blocks and rift valleys. A basin ranges of USA and the Black Forest Mountains and Vosges of Europe are examples of block mountains. Next one, volcanic mountains are formed through deposition of volcanic lava or ash, etc. The Fujiyama and the Hawaiian Islands are examples of volcanic mountains. Next one, residual mountains are formed due to erosion of uphill. Such mountains are the relatively more restricted parts of the former uplands that have surviving erosion. The highlands of Scotland and the Sierras of Central Spain are examples of residual mountains. The residual mountains are also called relict mountains. This later term, however, it sometimes applied to the old mountains also that have been lowered significantly through the process of erosion. The Appalachian Mountains in Northern America and the Aravalli Mountains in India are examples. This is the landforms of the geography, that is in this part of lithosphere. So I think it is clear for you. If you have any doubt, please command me. Just note it down what I given. It is useful for you and these points. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you.